Weber, we've got a 187. Anna Elkmoon's been murdered, and it's all over the news. Get down to headquarters pronto.
As we're desperate, friends and fans of Anna Elkmoon, one of the Southwest's most celebrated potters, are gathering here outside of her home in Santa Vera to pay their respects. Widely acknowledged as the foremost practitioner of the popular Santa Vera pottery style, Elkmoon was found dead early this morning in her studio by her husband, Jack Gordon, a professor at the university. Police are releasing few details, but it is believed the subject suffered fatal gunshot wounds. No suspects have been identified as of yet. This is Teresa Chavez for KITT Channel 6 News.
Heading back to headquarters, over.
Copy that, D-52.
I thought you'd never get here. Come on in. One thing's for sure. Anna Elkmoon had some friends in pretty high places. I've already heard from the governor's office, the honchos in the legislature, and the regional director of the FBI. Everybody wants answers. I told them I got my best people working on the case. Just don't make a liar out of me, huh? Now, there's not a lot I can tell you here. The victim was found in her studio by her husband at approximately 5 a.m. Bullet in her brain. And they both went to the public hearing on the casino project last night. When they got home, she went straight to her studio to work. Detective Nice Guy, come on in.
Chief?
I'm just filling your partner in here. Anyway, it looks like some of her pots are missing. That and a bunch of cash. At least $2 grand, according to Gordon. He says his wife hated banks, and she always carried a wad with her. Now, let's get this straight. I'm giving you overall authority for this case. But since the victim is a Native American living off tribal lands, we've got to tread lightly here. So I'd like Nice Guy to do most of the talking. Comprende? All right. Now, I'm also assigning a Sergeant Rebecca Orlando to do the legwork, checking alibis for you. Nice Guy, tell him about that new gadget we got there, that PDA, Personal Digital what?
PDA, Chief. Personal Digital Assistant. These will keep us in touch with headquarters day or night. The lab can beep us for test results, or if the chief needs to talk to us...
All right. We got a murder case to solve here. Now, just push the help button there if you can't figure this thing out. Now, remember, I got half the state breathing down my neck. I want answers, and I want the right ones. The FBI's already making noises about jurisdiction. I can only guarantee you people 5 days to crack this before the big boys muscle in. So, use your time wisely. You don't follow the right leads, your 5 days will get eaten up with chit-chat and blind alleys. And I don't want you people hanging out with those nutcases at the Mongoose Tavern. Everybody down there thinks they're Sam Spade. Don't be standing around here. Come on, let's get going.
D-52, we're on our way to Jack Gordon's, over.
10-4.
Detective Rebecca Orlando here, reporting for duty. Hey detectives, forensics will be closing off the crime scene in 7 hours, so you better get over there, pronto. Only 5 days to solve the mystery. Good luck. Time flies in Santa Fe.
If we could begin with your name and occupation, relationship to the victim.
Jack Gordon. I teach anthropology at the University of New Mexico. Anna Elkmoon's my wife.
Can you describe the events of last night?
Of course. Anna and I went to the casino hearing at 7:30. For my own part, I wasn't too keen on going. Anna's taken a fair amount of heat for moving off the Pueblo and marrying a white man. A lot of folks thought her opposition to the casino was actually backfiring, that any Indian who's had the success she's had doing her own type of non-traditional art had no right to beat the preservationist drum. I mean, she's accused of hypocrisy and much worse. I thought she was asking for it. But nothing scared Hannah. She wasn't afraid to speak her mind, and last night was certainly no different. I thought she got a good reception until after it broke up.
What happened after the meeting?
She had a run-in with Roy.
Roy?
Roy Elkmoon, her ex-husband, and if I'm not mistaken, her murderer.
What did he do exactly?
We were in the parking lot. He snuck up out of the darkness, started ranting. Said Anna had hidden assets during the settlement hearing. He'd been trying to reopen the decree ever since the divorce. I just hustled Anna into the car and we drove off. Now, by my age, I've learned better than getting a pissing match with a skunk.
What makes you think Roy killed her?
Roy was a wife beater. He put Anna in the hospital once that I know of. Broke her right arm. Andy was desperate. Roy never could let go. And for the most part, Anna ignored it. I think that made him even crazier. You know, I'd actually stopped drinking. For Anna's sake. Now what's the use?
You drove home after the meeting?
We must have gotten home about 10:30. I went in the house to bed to watch TV, and I went out to work in the studio. She's been all gung-ho about this pot she's been cleaning for Astrid Ames. It's some super valuable piece that's being returned to the Pueblo. You know, for all I know, that's what they were after. must have fallen asleep. The next thing I know, I wake up and there's television static. It's 5 a.m. and Anna's not there. I went out to the studio. That's when I found her. Called the police.
You didn't hear anything? Gunshots?
No. Anna said I could sleep through Armageddon.
You say you watched TV when you got home.
A letter when I got in. And then the beginning of the 11 o'clock news. Last thing I remember is a truck crash, I don't know, Route 25.
Did Anna smoke?
Neither one of us did.
Is there anyone else you think might shed some light on all of this?
Anna had been working with an anti-casino group. I forget the name. It was run by this young guy named Paul Balin. They've been spending a lot of time together the last few weeks. You could ask him. He might have an idea or two. Oh. And McCourse.
Who's McCourse?
McCourse is this guy that Anna used for the garden. She caught him snorting coke on the job and fired him. Well, he harassed us for a while. Kept calling all hours of the night, claiming we owed him money. This was, 4 months back.
Our condolences, Mr. Gordon. We'll be in touch.
That guy really knows how to booze it up. Looks like he likes his Scotch whiskey. What do you think, partner? Think he did it?
There's an important lead from Carrie March. The chief requests that you proceed to her residence immediately.
D-52 proceeding to Carrie March residence. Over.
10-4 D-52.
Officers, oh, I'm so glad you responded to my call. I have some information I think you'll find of interest.
Thanks, Mrs. March. But let's begin the interview officially. Your name and occupation?
Carrie March. I'm widowed.
And what is it you think might help our investigation?
Yes, well, you see, everyone knows that Anna left Roy Elkmoon to marry Jack Gordon. That's yesterday's papers. But what isn't so well known is that Jack left his wife, too. Karen Gordon. And Karen had been a friend of Anna's. That's how she met Jack. Karen was furious.
Furious enough to seek revenge?
Well, that's something I'd rather not speculate about. Although I must say, Karen's indignation rang a little hollow. I mean, she was having an affair of her own with Ed Snyder.
The man behind the casino.
The very same. Karen and Jack had always been something of an odd couple. I mean, Karen's so outgoing and Jack is, well, he's so bookish. Frankly, if I were Jack, I would have left Karen ages ago because of the chain smoking alone. And it's those horrible clove cigarettes. Detestable things, aren't they?
Oh, and by the way, where were you between 10 and 2 a.m. on the night in question?
You think I could have been involved? How positively wicked. I was home in bed. You'll have to check with Mildred, my cook. She always brings me salsa and homemade chips around 11. Instant heartburn. The wages of gluttony.
Anyway, you were saying about Anna?
Well, I wonder if her real interest wasn't in that young anti-casino activist, Paul Bellin, I believe.
Is there anything else?
Well, Anna was giving Sonny Two Feathers fits, but then she wasn't the only one taking a stand against the casino.
Sonny's working with Ed Snyder, isn't that right?
Well, they both want the casino plans approved, but I'm not sure you could say they're working together. I mean, Sonny represents the Indian faction that supports the project, and Ed is, well, in it purely for the money. But the casino advocates aren't the only ones Anna rubbed the wrong way. There was Frank Delgado, for instance.
The Delgado Gallery?
He had been Anna's dealer for the longest time. Now, a lot of people give Frank the credit for Anna's skyrocketing success. Quite the savvy marketer. And then, out of the blue, Anna left him 3 months ago.
Left the gallery for another middleman?
Yeah. Given the growing demand for her work, she felt she could sell directly to collectors, but it's only half the story. Anna and Frank had a knockdown drag-out at the Mesa Cafe just 10 days ago.
You overheard the argument?
No, it was impossible not to. Frank said Anna still owed him 2 pots. He said if she stiffed him, he'd destroy her. Anna just laughed at him. Poor Frank, you should have seen his face. Last time I saw that shade of crimson was on one of Anna's pots.
His warning that he'd destroy her, was he any more explicit?
Well, he stopped short of a death threat, if that's what you mean, but I'd certainly talk to him if I were you.
If you think of anything else, please don't hesitate to give us a call.
Here are the results on the bullet wound. Powder burns and traces of yellow suede were found at the entry site and along the wound track. My guess is that someone was using standard suede guarding gloves to muffle the sound. From the size of the bullet, we can tell it was fired from a .357 or .38 caliber revolver at point-blank range. We checked with county records and found Karen Gordon's name on a list of revolvers registered in the area.
Que estúpido. Jack Gordon has no alibi. He says he fell asleep during the 11 o'clock news, more like passed out, all grouse from what I hear. With this alibi, he's placing himself at the crime scene around the time of the murder. With an alibi like that, who needs a confession? Phone records show that Anna Elkmoon placed 3 phone calls from her studio on the afternoon before the murder. One to Astrid Ames at 2:35, 1 minute. One to Von Dressner, 2:48, 3 minutes. And one to Joey Detta, 3:36, 6 minutes.
Proceeding to Joe Data's residence, over.
Copy that, D52.
I hardly have to ask the Pueblo's medicine man his occupation.
Haven't seen much of you since you left the tribal police for the Santa Fe PD. How are you, Night Sky?
Working. You know we're investigating the death of Anna Elkmoon.
You have your job, I have mine.
Joe, we understand that the victim called you on the afternoon of her death from the phone in her studio.
Yes. I was having lunch with my nephew, Sonny Two Feathers, at the time. She wanted to visit me. I knew Anna when her allegiances were undivided. She strayed too far into the realm of the white man. And it seems she has paid the ultimate price.
What did she want to talk to you about? This will be in absolute confidence, please. You may know something that can help us find her killer.
She was calling about the pot.
The one that she was cleaning for return to the Pueblo?
When I was a boy, the pot was considered a most sacred object in the Kiva. One day, it disappeared, stolen by a pot hunter for riches.
I remember my mother talking about a great kiva.
It contains the greatest artifacts of our tribe. It was created when the Spanish first came, bringing their religion. They drove the corn mothers away, and they put things in this kiva for protection. The location was a great secret. Only the most important elders knew. One day, there was a raid, and the Spaniards killed nearly all the old ones.
So no one knew where to find the kiva?
There were whispers, dreams, rumors.
Are you saying Anna died because of some kind of spiritual violation, or because someone wanted to get their hands on that pot?
That I cannot say. Go with the spirits. I fear the pot has not claimed its last victim.
I don't know. Anna and Joe, he's always been disappointed in her. Says she's not good for our people. But kill her? I don't see it.
The receipt is for Anna Elkmoon's restoration services for cleaning the historic kiva pot, which Astrid Ames was going to return to the Pueblo. I found both Elkmoon and Ames' fingerprints on the receipt, along with some clay traces from her studio. Too bad that pot is missing. A priceless artifact like that sure put some pressure on the chief to find out who did this.